Flip the Venue is brought to you by Casa Pinta, Vortex, and Palazzo Parisio. Thanks to Jean Zamit for the makeup of Sarah and Becky in the studio. Additional thanks to Vortex for the clothing worn by Sarah and Becky in the studio. Malta. 300 days a year of sunshine. And the highest concentration of UNESCO sites in the world. And some of those sites moonlight as venues for the most lavish ceremonies and events. Come now as we follow the unsung heroes who make such events possible. Event planners.
I think I'm a walking zombie and just existing. We need coffee. We really need coffee.
We follow Sarah Young and her crew of misfits.
I'm sure your family needs to know you're alive.
As they battle in clement weather.
The wind started, so happy days.
And deadlines.
There's so much left to be done.
To deliver events fit for royalty. Welcome to Flip the Venue.
It's all coming together.
The team must get up bright and early in order to begin the setup. And we start this Expedius expedition with a rare candid curiosity. Sarah before coffee.
Good morning, everyone. You can hear my voice at 6 a.m. behind the scenes of a wedding planner. Look at the world, it's still sleeping, but the cock is crowing. And everybody's asleep in my house at 6 a.m. Obviously, it's the weekend. But the only person awake with me is my doggy, Nina. Hello, Nina. Thank God for lovely fairy animals who wake up and keep me company. This is a day where we'll be working 20 hours straight. I need a shower. Just woke up and the coffee. And then off we go.
10 minutes later. And 3 coffees.
So today, on my way to Palazzo, I am go and buy some goodies for all the suppliers today and the film crew. I think everybody deserves a little treat sometimes. And I strongly believe the secret to people's hearts is their tummy sometimes. So I'm gonna go and buy some nice croissants. I'm gonna go and buy some nice donuts.
1 donut later. And another 2 coffees.
All energy. I'll talk to you when I'm on the premises now. Let me concentrate on my driving. I think that would be wise.
And now, onto the wedding ceremony, where Sarah intends to get the day off to a good start.
At Palazzo, my plan is working. It's very early, so I borrowed 2 trays and I'm gonna treat the staff of Palazzo and my crew and suppliers some goodies. Makes everybody happy, and I love making people happy. Let's go. So I woke up really positive on the day. I was like, you know what? We need some boosts for the, pick me up. Come with me in the garden. Guys, stop 2 minutes, come for donuts and coffee. Yeah, 2 minutes. Come on. But you missed them because you came later. And I thought, you know what, let's start on a happy note.
This will set the tone for the day. And they were so happy, everyone was, and the crew were happy. But the sound guys were really happy, and Damien's team were like, oh, you're giving us coffee and croissants and donuts. And it's nice sometimes, you know, to show appreciation. And then everybody was somehow happier. I'm not having any donuts. Yeah, diet. But they can eat and get fat. Okay, bye now. Let us have our crumbs and coffee in peace, please. Bye-bye. Now you, come on, guys.
There is actually a flip today, so let's get on with it, shall we?
Okay, so today's...
I'm sorry, Sarah.
It's okay.
And the crew are very grateful that Sarah woke up in a good mood today.
Okay, so today's setup is ceremony in the ballroom. Weather is beautiful. No issues with weather, no decisions with weather. We're just going, boom, straight for the setup. Ceremony upstairs, stand up upstairs and cake cutting. Then they move to the gardens for dinner. But everybody likes to usually do the dinner with the top table next to the gate. We are not doing that because this couple are very big with music and we have an amazing 13-piece band tonight. So we gave them prominence next to the gate so that the guests can party and dance in front and in the gazebo. Their first dance will be in the gazebo.
So today's setup is a little bit different because they have a live band, so obviously we needed to accommodate for a stage for that, and it wasn't a small band, so a stage was definitely needed. The couple wanted 2 top tables, which is a bit different to what we normally have, which is 1. So they actually had a sweetheart table, which was the main top table with the couple. Then they had another 2 top tables. One had the bride's family and one had the groom's family. And I think we made use more of the space in the garden. So that makes it very different to any other setup that we've done in the same venue.
So, we're going with the sweetheart table. I'm not sure, I often mention the sweetheart table, but I'm going to explain it again. Sweetheart table is just the bride and groom at table. Now you might think how lonely. Actually, they get to have a little bit of conversation alone. And they like it because sometimes the top table is awkward because the bride and groom tend to get up and go around the tables and speak to the guests once they finish their food because the other guests are still getting their food. So then they leave either side of the top table alone and they just barely have anyone to speak to. So a sweetheart table, and then today, very original, 2 long tables on the right and the left for the bridal party and the family. And then circular tables around the first 2 lawns. But although you will, during the series as well, have seen and will see more of this beautiful venue, we always try and have it a little bit different because it has to suit each and every couple differently. So it doesn't mean because a place looks one way, it will always be set the same way. It always has to be tailor-made to the needs of the couple, the weather, the time of year, everything. So you're going to see the same palazzo which we love to feature because we love working here, and apart from that, it is so easy to work here. Everybody's ship-shape, everybody does everything immaculately. But we're going to show you different ways how to set up a wedding at the same venue. This is why Flip the Venue is called Flip the Venue, how you can change and flip a venue to suit the couple's needs.
And we will see just that, as Sarah and the team showcase a new perspective on the palazzo. Continuing after the break. Flip the Venue is brought to you by Casa Pinta, Vortex, and Palazzo Parisio. So far, so good with the setup. But there is something troubling Sarah.
Now, let me explain the only challenge we have today. So, we're in a village, and you know our traditions in Malta offer a beautiful feast in most of the biggest parishes. It's been a tradition through the years, and they are beautiful feasts. However, sometimes, from the point of view of a wedding planner, they can be a logistical nightmare. And I learned the hard way, because once I had a wedding on the eve of the feast here, and it was nightmare. We couldn't get in, the roads were closed, everything. So when this couple came to me and they loved the venue and they wanted September, I was like, oh, there's the village feast. Keep away from this village feast. And sure enough, we picked a date 2 days later. So everything is over and done. But, and I said, no hassles with the weather today. Fair enough. 2 days ago was forecasted with rain, so the village feast decided to extend 2 days. So we avoided it, but didn't avoid it. So we have contacted the suppliers during the week. The team is calling up people and reminding them, you cannot enter through the front door this evening. You need to come from the back.
And with the unusual circumstances surrounding our location today, we have Adrian to show us the new entrance that will be used for this wedding only.
The bride and the groom will come to this spot. Then there is our host and ushers waiting for her. We'll give her a glass of Prosecco and she can start to open the ceremony. All the people will be waiting for her in the terrace, so they will see her coming through the main gate over here. So it's a very special entrance for the bride and the groom today, and that's why we chose this style of walk.
So every wedding has its little hiccups, little challenges, but if you're very well organized and you know these things before, precaution done, and let's hope everything goes well and everyone arrives safe and sound through a back entrance.
An upside of the early start is the team are doing very well for time. And with the entire team working in unison, the setup is progressing on schedule.
So to prepare for this wedding, it took a total of 18 months, so like a year and a half. And obviously there are so many different processes that lead to the day. We start off with very basics. We choose the venue, we choose the menu. So in reality, nothing to do with the venue as such in terms of decoration and things like that. And obviously because it's been booked quite a few months before, things change. You might see a different photo on like Pinterest or something like that. So the inspiration is going to change throughout. And in fact, I think it did change a few times with what she sort of wanted. I mean, the idea of white was always there. But then at some point, a little bit closer to the date, they came down for a site visit, and that's when everything was 100% set. Like, okay, definitely going for white, definitely going for these types of flowers and this look.
And all that preparation and hard work starts to pay off as the setup comes together. We'll see more of it next. Flip the Venue is brought to you by Casa Pinta, Vortex, and Palazzo Parisio. Follow us on social media at Flip the Venue. The setup is going smoothly, and so Sarah finds time to share a very personal message from the bride.
I want to share something with you. Yesterday evening, at 10:30, when I was trying to sleep but I couldn't sleep, she sends me personally a very beautiful message, and she wrote, "Sorry for the late message. I hope you are asleep and you see this tomorrow." I was actually still awake and I answered her back. It was so nice, so encouraging, and it makes you work actually happier. probably why I woke up in such good spirits and went to buy donuts for everyone. Before the wildness of the day begins, I did just want to send you a direct message to thank you so much for everything. You have been so amazing for the last 18 months. Thank you for always managing to calm me and help me relinquish control, which, as you know, is very hard for me. So she is a control freak, OCD like me. So we get along very well. And it's very important, actually. You know, this message made me realize how important it is to understand the client. And it's true, because once you understand them, you know what they want. And actually, yesterday when I read it, I had tears in my eyes. It still makes me very emotional. And it makes it also worth it. This is the beauty of our job. You know, we make somebody's day perfect.
And speaking of the perfect day, what every perfect day needs. An after party, of course. And now we go again to Adrian for a tour of its location.
So we are going also to show how we set up for the after party, because at Palazzo we also have an after party venue as well. And this is the vaults of Palazzo. For this wedding in particular, we're gonna have music DJ set up on this area over here. And we're gonna set up a bar on this side. It's gonna be a long bar. So we're gonna use, I think, 4 6-feet tables covered with linen. We will decorate it. And this will be the ultimate stage of setup. We call it stage 3. Usually we do stage 1, the setup for the ceremony on a wedding like this. Then stage 2, we set up for the dinner and the garden. And then stage 3, the staff will come down here and set up the bars and the last details for the after party.
Now, let's see what Sarah's been up to whilst we've been away.
The clients told us yesterday night that one of the guests didn't make Daniel on table 4. So this table is now by 7.
Yes, okay.
I'm going to cut it off for you.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. I meet you upstairs in 5.
Yeah.
There we go. That's my Now I'm going upstairs. This is very important. I want to check my chairs, my setup, put the reserved names, so that is ready. And apart from that, I think we're good to go. Can you give me the place names or no?
I have the name. Yeah.
Huh?
I have the name.
Okay, these 2 chairs I don't need. I need one on the other side. So 7 on each side. This one only
9.
is with... No, not 9.
What? Yes.
That one 9. This 7.
Okay.
On goes my specs. Paige is calling. Let's get these place names done, because now I have the time to do them and I don't want to hassle later. This is an extra chair. So, the place names, there's a lot of thinking behind them. First of all, you always, in every single wedding, have family politics, you know? Somebody who cannot sit next to somebody, or someone who would rather sit next to somebody else. So these are all things which you never see, but we do with our clients during the final meeting. The detail in which we go through is really big. For example, I ask the couple how the processional is going to be. So in this case today, we have 6 bridesmaids. 1 is a maid of honor, and then the dad and the bride. I like everything to look pristine on the day. So if the bridesmaids come in this way, then I try to wrap them up here. So first bridesmaid to come in is sitting here. Second, third, 4th, 5th, 6th, which actually works out really well because Amy's her sister, so she's sitting next to her mom. So literally it's picture perfect today. This is really important because imagine you put the names, 1 here, 1 there, 1 there. Then 1 sits here, 1 sits there. But for the videographer and the photographer and the audience, it's going to be so smooth. It's literally, they walk in looking extremely pretty and sit one next to the other, okay? So these are little details that maybe you never see us prepare, but that's how much planning goes into a wedding, and a lot of stuff happens before and a lot of hours of details to be taken care of.
Now, let's have an update on the feast to see if it's affecting our wedding.
So I really want to have a look at this feast mania here. You know, we really hassled to come in early. We've contacted authorities, the church, everything. It's weird. Traffic is still passing through and it's 11:30 a.m. We were told after 9, no traffic goes through. This is okay, but not okay for the suppliers who came very early to make sure they can come in before 9. So it's not bad, but I hate not being given the right information all the time. C'est la vie, you have to live with it.
It's just the same way as you have to live with this commercial break. Join us after to continue the setup. Flip the Venue is brought to you by Casa Pinta, Vortex, and Palazzo Parisio. As the setup progresses into its final stages, we have some welcome arrivals on site.
So just message the bride to tell her everything's perfectly fine, everything's outside, she should stop even her panicking or nothing, no stress, everything's perfect. Rex! My team. Hi, sweet boy,
Here are your
you're
clothes.
safe.
Okay.
I left my clothes at home.
So here we have the table numbers in the box.
Okay, let's start.
So that's
with
great.
Let's open the box. I've been dying for you to come. Let's finish off. Everything else is ready. You two go and get a
Yes.
rest and go and park.
Exactly.
When you come, we start.
Yep.
Go, go, go. I can't wait to have everything ready today, Ellie. Pandora's box for you. Pandora's box.
And now, due to the festival, a slight alteration in the day's bride and guest arrival plans. The guests will now use a private back entrance that is rarely used or seen by the public.
We have no access, sadly, to the entrance of the palazzo as of 3 o'clock today, which is now. So we devised a second entrance for all the guests, but obviously the coaches can't go through these village streets. So we're gonna have like a system of us in strategic places to guide the guests. Viva the feast! For extra hassle. Emmy, you're gonna be here or a bit more, but you tell them first right. They understand English, loud and clear. If you see people walking, patience, but this is your spot.
Okay.
You tell them, follow the road straight. We all split, some in the road. We were literally like wardens along the way. You know, Becky was positioned inside to direct them up. I was positioned in the garden. Emmy and Bex were in the road, and we were in communication all the time.
And with that, the problem is solved. The team head back to the gardens to ensure the flip is going to plan.
This furniture all has to go. This.
And now, showing up after all of the hard work is complete, Becky.
I finally arrived fresh because I came a little late today. Very excited for this wedding because the couple, the bride, is actually one of my favorite ones. But they're all my favorite, so. But Charlie's a little special. And James. So Charlie and James. I'm very excited for them to see because she was so excited and so nervous, texting this morning how excited she was. So, looking forward.
Becky may have arrived late, but her help is still needed, for the final touches are yet to be done. And we all know final touches are Becky's forte.
How are you?
Now we enter the final stage, the final push.
Yeah. The awning has to open like the other side. That umbrella has to go too. 1, 2, 3. I don't want those tables under the awning either, Beck. So this has to be all clear, and that has to be all clear. Mela, this table has to go, no DJ here. Structure. Exactly. So I don't need to tell you again. I know with you it will be done. Thank you. Okay, give them to me, the table numbers. So you have place names and Emmy has menus.
The team cannot help but be impressed by the bride's attention to detail and consideration for each and every guest.
There.
Like this.
And she has messages on each one, you noticed?
Yeah. She even had personalized poems for every single guest, and they had 110 guests. So that's 110 personalized poems handwritten by herself.
What detail. What detail. I mean, can you imagine writing all those poems about each and every person? We love everything perfect. So even the menu and this poem had to be one over the other. Just little details. Exactly. That's how we're going to do it, okay?
Everything is running smoothly and on schedule. And now it's just a matter of seeing it through until the guest's arrival.
You do white, you do black, I read. Let's hurry up. Machine, factory operation. It's very important we get these details right. The bride trusts us to the full, so we have to do things exactly as she's envisaging them. And we are. It's looking very pretty.
Join us after the break for the flip's final completion. Flip the Venue is brought to you by Casa Pinta, Vortex, and Palazzo Parisio. Thanks to Jean Zamit for the makeup of Sarah and Becky in the studio. Additional thanks to Vortex for the clothing worn by Sarah and Becky in the studio. Whilst you were off making a cuppa, Sarah had a visit from the police. Don't worry though, it was just to see if the bridal party could be let through the festival blockade for front of house entry. How could he possibly say no to a face like this?
So, guys, we got an update. The policeman came in and he called the sergeant and the bride, and the bridesmaids are being allowed to come through there. But the guests still there and the groom, but the bride at 5, because everyone's in the church, is going to allow it. No, she's coming along. She doesn't need Prosecco with the bridesmaids. It's time to start. You keep the plan as is. It's just the bride, her dad, and the 5 bridesmaids coming from here. Yeah. We keep the plan as is.
All right.
Adrian, from the bottom of my heart, I must thank you and all the management of Palazzo and all the operations. It's been such a smooth day.
Thank you so much.
Everything perfect. So it runs smoothly. In fact, on the day, for me, it was one of the least stressful days of planning a wedding, you know? Plus, this venue is very calming as well, so it helps, you know? But it was actually pleasurable. It was fun. Ah, what a nice day. I must say, I loved it today. No stress, no panic. It's been really a nice time. This couple is amazing. Charlotte and James, 2 of a kind. I'm sure we'll remain friends for many years to come because she has been very special to us. But they deserve everything. And the day, the smoothness, the feeling of happiness, everything going well, will remain through the wedding because this is the set of mood and temperament we have set for today. And I know it's going to be a perfect wedding. We will show you footage from the wedding. so you can see how it ended up. But now I have to close here and leave you. See you obviously next week, but I have to go because the guests are starting to arrive. Thank you for being with us. Bye.
Next time on Flip the Venue, we have a one-off exclusive and a very special guest joining us.
He does the events for the Kardashians, Sting, Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt. Let me not go there because the list is too long.
This is an event not to be missed, and we even have a decoration making its ceremonial debut in Malta. Some of you may have noticed my voice gently creeping higher and higher and higher pitched this episode. Well, that's because I've been preparing for this wonderful Pride special.